Morning everybody, how we doing? Hope you guys are all well this morning. I am stoked to get this thing going today, Monday morning. I'm sure lots of you hopefully feel the same as me, eager for Monday morning to start. I think trading is probably the only job that you can feel that way. Job. I can't really say job. What do you call trading? Trading's the only profession. I don't know. That just doesn't sound right. The only hobby. I don't know. Anyway, good to see you guys this morning. Good to be with you. Have this channel working up this morning. Pretty obvious. Hitting on all cylinders. So we might get a long opportunity here real quick. Also have this line up here is the high from Friday, so price is maybe trying to get up to there, test that area. But yeah, anyway, we really could get a long setup here real quick. I do want to see it pull back some. Hopefully get to the EMA. I don't want to take a trade way up here. It's a little bit too far extended from the EMA. More likely to have more of a pullback as prices will, I mean, this is a little bit of like mean reversion theory, I guess, but prices generally try to stay close to the average. If they get too far extended, they'll come back. So anyway, looking for a second entry long. We have a pullback. We don't even have our first entry yet, because you can see none of these bars went higher than the previous bar. So hopefully we get a pullback, first entry, another pullback that comes around the EMA, and then the second entry that takes us long. That's what I'm looking for. Hopefully we can get it. That'd be nice to get a trade this early, even before opening. Sometimes it takes all day for a setup to happen, but a lot of times this is actually some good setups happen from 8:30 to 9:30, like before the even the open. So if you can, it's a little hard for me on the West Coast because that's 5:30 to 6:30 in the morning, so gotta get to bed early the night before. But there's a lot of good trades that happen in that time frame. We will see. We will see. But I really like that we got a healthy trend going on right now. The past few days have been very interesting. A lot of difficult conditions, a lot of back and forth, reversals, things like that. If we could just get some nice solid price action that follows trends and is consistent, I mean, hey, that would be awesome. Well, just while we're waiting for price to set up, I'm also going to kind of look back, see if there's any other channels and things I can draw just to kind of Yeah, see where price has been. It's also, it might be helpful for some of you who are still trying to, I think one of the most difficult things about this style of trading is being able to correctly identify channels. You don't want them to be too wide or too narrow. I mean, it really hinges a lot on that. So, yeah, like if we were to ignore everything else and kind of start the day like this, I probably would have initially, say we're right here, I probably would have initially had a range right here, somewhere right in there. Actually, I probably would have moved it up like this. And then this is, by the way, if you're still trying to learn all this stuff and practice it, go load a historical chart, go to the very beginning so you don't know what happens, and just go bar by bar. Like, literally start off with one bar, hit your arrow key, and just advance one bar at a time, and then draw your lines and mark where you would take trades and see if they work out or not. I literally still do that all the time. It's really good practice. You'll start to develop an eye for channels and for second entries and things. Hold on, I'm going to fast forward really quick just to make sure that our setup isn't happening. Oh, haven't even got our first entry. Okay, I think we got time. So here we are, just fast forwarding bar by bar. So right here, I would be thinking, that, hey, we got a breakout. Gonna look for a failed breakout. Look to fade this move because we got a nice range here. So, okay, we're getting a breakout. I'm ready to short. And then, okay, that bar is telling me it's got to set up right now. We also have this short-term channel now. Oops. So now I draw something like this. And that's a little bit, maybe even an overshoot of that. Kind of adjust it like so. That fits pretty well. It may be an overshoot, not really convincing enough, but now I'm looking for, it's gone quite a bit. Usually failed breakouts need to happen kind of right around this area. It's gone quite a bit up, but it still could happen where we could pull back and get like a nice bearish bar back into the range. So I'm still looking for that. Also the possibility of a long, like a bounce off of this area. So those are the two scenarios I would be looking for here. And then let's just advance. Still don't have a first entry. There's our first entry and it's almost made a new high. So this is starting to invalidate the trade. Both trade ideas really. And then, yeah, now it's just going up. So would not be a trade there. I still don't have this bigger channel, by the way. I'd still be watching this range. Now we're just kind of drifting up. So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, we didn't go back into the range. Obviously, we're just kind of drifting up. We also didn't get a setup right off the top of the range. And we're continuing up. So might draw. So I'm thinking bigger channel. Might draw this channel right here. See how that works out. And that's fitting pretty nicely. Still don't have a setup though. And it's not really respecting that. You can see it's kind of drifting out here. So I'd probably delete that at that point. Now here's where I'd be looking to see if there's anything wider, because we dipped below the EMA here and then immediately went above it. I'm going to fast forward again. Still nothing. This is the kind of stuff you can do while you're waiting, because yeah, I mean, we know what we're looking for, right? So if it's quite a ways before that setup can happen, go do something else. Go study. It'll take your trigger finger off the trigger, so you're not tempted to take any stupid trades. So now at this point I'm saying, okay, this range, not valid. I still wouldn't have this bigger one. So here, I'm gonna actually delete that for now, because we're right here. But I'm looking, okay, it is starting to move up. We maybe even have like some sort of range here. Maybe like right around there, something like that. And I might, because we went above the EMA here again, and it's generally pointing up, I would probably be looking for a larger channel, although I wouldn't trust it because nothing's confirmed yet. But if you're gonna look for a big channel, you're going for the first two swings, so that's this point and this point, right? This point to this point. I'm going from the bottom of the tail to the body here. And I'm just going to extend that out. Draw the other one, and ooh, look at how that's fitting on this side. So immediately I'm going, okay, this could be legit. So I'm going to keep advancing price. Immediately moving up. Unfortunately, don't have a setup. Now could, if I have this range and I am bullish, you could play this higher low right here, but that's pretty aggressive. Definitely aggressive. You would want that to occur, you know, down by the channel or the exponential moving average. It is touching the top of this range, but that's getting pretty high up there. Some people might take that trade. I wouldn't, but some people might, and I bet you it works out. Depending on how many points you're scalping for, it might have already worked there. Definitely would work there. So now at this point, it's no doubt that we got a bullish channel going. And so now I really am starting to trust this. And I would expect prices to reach the top. So, and that's what they're doing. Extend this out. And that's what brings us to here. So perfect price action. That's how I would have interpreted it if I would have stayed up all night and watched each bar form. Now we got our first entry, guys. This could be perfect. So again, we got a pullback. Here's our first entry. I'm wanting one more pullback and a second entry to the long side. We'll get a trade in, maybe even before the open. So what I'd really like to see is a convincing bearish move. Meaning I want to draw bears in, and those make the best setups when you know you're bullish or you know you're bearish, you know your bias, and then you get if you're thinking about it from the other side, you get a really convincing move that then reverses. Those are the best setups. I'm also going to draw this channel that we got working up. That's also valid if you're playing the short term. So we're also expecting a retest of that channel. So things are definitely lining up for a long here. Expecting a retest of this channel. Expecting to be bullish in the big channel. Our first entry has triggered. Also going to draw short-term downtrend like this. We do want to see that. We would like to see ideally a break of that before we go long, but we also could look at it like this. maybe. Yeah, you could look at it like that. And we do have a break right here. I'm willing to take that if it forms. Okay, so this is good so far. What we want to see is this bar to tick lower and then finish really bullish, a bullish type hammer. But I don't know, honestly, I'm probably drawing that channel because I want to trade. It really should be more like that. Good morning, macaroons. Man, that sounds good. I could go for a macaroon. Yeah, so this short-term channel really should be like this. And we are still in it, so can't take that trade yet. We do need to see a break of this and then a push lower. If we're still in this bearish channel, even though it's short term, you don't want to take a long. Even though we're bullish, we're expecting a new extreme of this channel. We're still in the bigger channel, expecting to continue to push up, but you need to, it's a big tip, you need to respect these short-term channels that go in the opposite direction, because if you try to take a trade while those are still in play, won't go well for you. In the long run, you might get a win, but in the long run, it won't go well. Wow, I've been on a rant here, spilling a lot of stuff. If you're appreciating all the information, please like this stream. Help the algorithm out. Get more people in on this thing. So now, since we're in this short-term channel, what I really would like to see is a push out of it. A push out right here, and then a nice move lower. And then for our setup to occur right at that main channel, that would just be money. That'd be bread and butter stuff right there. Also got 10 minutes before the open. I think given the way that this is moving, we might this setup might happen right on the open. But the thing with price action, guys, so I've basically told you my thesis, what I'm looking for, my bias. I'm bullish right now. But with price action, you gotta trade what's in front of you. So when the market opens up, we could get just a massive red candle, right? And that would invalidate everything I've said. There are no certainties in trading, in price action. You have to follow what's given you. So yes, Dizzy, this strategy does work on the 1 minute. It works on all time frames, because like these are just price action principles that get followed. So yeah, it works on all time frames. I prefer tick charts because I think they give you a lot more information. For example, in 1 minute, if you got a lot of orders coming through, there's can be a lot of details that are happening. You could get like one entry, pull back a second entry in 1 little minute increment if there's a lot of volume and a lot of things going in the market, whereas on the 1 minute chart you're just going to have one candle kind of moving up and down, so you won't be able to see those details and you might miss out. So that's why I like tick charts better, but you certainly can use the 1 minute, and oftentimes you'll get the same signal at the same time. The 1 minute's honestly very very similar to the 2000 tick chart. If you pull up the 1 minute chart, I'm not going to do it right now, but if you pull it up, it's going to look really similar to this. So cool, look, we got our break that I was wanting. We got a break of this channel. Now we want to see it drop lower, give us our second entry. Oh shoot, you didn't see that I was drawing. You want to see my drawings, I know you do. So we got a break at that channel, and we want to move to either the exponential moving average, this larger channel, get a nice bullish second entry. That's all I'm asking for. Market, come on, help a brother out. I'm going to cautiously sip my tea because a couple live streams ago I burnt myself. Perfect. Would like to see this bar finish bearish and start to push down a bit. Because if we're just going to kind of hover over the exponential moving average, there's no trade for us. We do really want to see a move downwards now. Which is kind of interesting. If you're bullish and you're wanting to take a long and you're wanting prices to go down, seems a little counterintuitive, right? That's how it works. People will see, traders will see this move up, they'll see all the bullishness and they'll see a candle like this. They're like, hey man, we're going to continue, we're going to continue right here. Let's get long. And the market will pull back, stop them all out, and then continue higher anyway. Yes, this is the first entry, and I'll explain why. The good question, macaroons. So you have your pullback, obviously. And I'm going to the lowest point, which is right here. And then right here you had your first entry. You don't get a second entry until it pulls back again, until it dips lower than another candle. This candle didn't dip lower, so it hasn't gone lower yet. So this is still just all the first entry. Does that make sense? So once you get a candle that goes lower than the previous candle, then you can be looking for your second entry. But inside bars don't count. They don't affect the count or anything. It's basically just an inside bar is almost like a doji. It's just not, there's no movement. Mini ranges. Oh, okay. Yeah, you gotta wait for it to tick lower. Yeah, that'll stop you out if you, that one little trick. Good, man. I'm glad I can give that little trick out this morning. That will help, I promise. That will help a lot. So yeah, this is all still our first entry. And I'm gonna make a little prediction here. We're 4 minutes away from the open. I think right on the open, we're gonna see, if it doesn't pull back yet, right on the open, we're gonna see a nice flush, a nice red candle that knocks a lot of traders out. Especially if this candle goes higher. If we start pulling back now, though, then I retract that prediction. But if this candle keeps going higher and we still keep going on this first entry right at the open, I think that's going to get smacked down. Now we ticked lower, so I mean, we still could get smacked down. I have no idea, but yeah, sometimes you see those traps like, ooh, man, this is a nice looking first entry, open, bam. Okay, so now we can look for our second entry, and we do have that break starting to move lower. This is all starting to come together. So I want to see us continue to move lower. Ideally, again, right around I want the body of my bullish signal bar to be right on that exponential moving average. Right now we're kind of in no man's land. For an entry at least. Okay, so now we technically have our second entry. Because you have a pullback. This is your first entry, and then prices pulled back again, and your second entry. So that's technically the second entry right there. And we couldn't take it, obviously. Not going to go long above a bearish bar. We're not even close to the exponential moving average or the trend line. No key entry points, so no trade there. But we could get a double trap, which is basically people who trade second entries as a rule, without thinking about context and things like that, and they're going to get people taking this right here, second entry, boom, people are long, and then when they get flushed out, then you might get another bullish bar that we could take. That would be a double trap. So basically a failed second entry that then fails. We're getting next level stuff here, so apologize if that is confusing. If it is, I'll explain more sometime. But basically, yeah, we could get a double trap right here. This is the 21 period exponential moving average. Yeah, I mean, you can call it either way. Yeah, failed trap, double trap, whatever. It's basically a second entry. It's basically, pretty much a third entry. We're still on that second entry. So, okay, yeah, so here comes our big bearish bar. Hey, Gabe, good morning. And right now we have our set here. I'm going to get my order ready. We could have a setup right here. We also have a second entry short that could fail. If we get a nice bullish bar here, I want it to tick lower. If this ticks lower and gives us a nice bullish hammer, that's a pretty good setup, but not going to happen. We're just kind of starting to get congested, so gonna draw our little mini range that we got going here. The exponential moving. I'm sorry. Someone asked about that. Who Pete? It's a 21 period exponential moving average. Sorry, there's a lot of stuff going on. Okay, now I'm looking for a failed breakout right around this key entry point here. Again, I'm gonna get my order ready just in case. Want to see a push below this range that finishes nice and bullish. That will get me long. Yeah, I'm gonna take this for sure. All right, we're long. I think I'm gonna go for 2 points instead of 2.5. Oh boy, we might get stopped out here. Not looking good for us, guys. Not looking good for us. There we go. I like that bar. So now that I'm in the trade, I'm just gonna chill. Some people might freak out here. They're down. They're looking to scratch out or something. Looking at this again, I still think it's a pretty decent setup. I like our odds, so I'm gonna hold it. I adjusted my target a little bit. That's just because I had the strategy already selected. I forgot to select a different strategy. I would have started with 2 points because of the ATR. And there we go, stopped out. Bummer. So now I'm gonna take a look and just try to review that a little bit. Try to think about what might have gone wrong there. So we had, again, we were expecting a bullish move. We had the break of this. We had a new low. Had that bullish bar. So that looks good. However, because here's what I'm seeing now. I'm gonna delete this range. We could have had a larger move like this in play, which we can see. Our second entry long never worked. Really what we should have done to confirm that is waited for a higher low. So had this bullish bar that looked really good, but again, the second entry long didn't work. We're now below the exponential moving average. This did push above, so I felt good about that. But I should have waited for confirmation. Should have waited for a little bit more of a push up and a higher low to take that. So I think that was my mistake there. It was decent, I think. It was a decent risk to take. Yeah, I had a really good signal bar. It was a decent risk to take, but I could have played it a little bit more safely and waited for that higher low. Also, you know what? Another thing I'm thinking is that I should have had a little bit of a limit order. That was a pretty big bar here. That was like 2.5 points. No, 850 to 6. Yeah, 2.5 point bar. Well, no, I guess I was going for. No, that was fine. But I could have thrown a limit order in there. See if we can get a failed second entry short. Have pullback, first entry short. Now we're pulling back above the exponential moving average. I'm still bullish. If we get a nice, oh man, that's close. That didn't tick lower, unfortunately. And I'm not going to make the mistake of just jumping in on this. Especially after a loss. I really have to check myself that I'm not just like eager to make another trade. So I'm going to chill. Oops. Okay, so there's our second entry short. Let's see if it fails. I do like this. Come on, finish bullish, baby. Let's go. Nope, that ain't happening. So if that would have finished bullish, definitely would have taken that. I mean, we do have this possible wide channel here. It's being respected so far. But again, we were still waiting for this. Oh my gosh, look at that move. There, look at that arrow. Okay. We're still waiting for this channel at a break. Still waiting for a new extreme of that one. We have a break now of this wider channel. Still waiting for a new extreme of that one. So this second entry short, one entry, two entries. If that would have failed and given us a nice bullish bar, I would have taken that. But now we are just kind of dying off here. How you guys doing so far? Does anyone have some green on their P&L, unlike me? Other than what I attempted to do, I don't really see any setups that I would have liked. Other than that failed second entry short that didn't form. Nice. Good work, Gordon. Trading stocks and futures at the same time. Attaboy. So, unless the market proves otherwise, I am still bullish. I'm still looking. Yeah, I would like to see me make it back to day two. I'm still looking for a failed entry short above the exponential moving average. Still looking for a long trade here. There's our first entry short. Oops. No, where's my chart? Oh my gosh. Are you serious? Okay, so there's our first entry short. And for those of you who are still trying to learn how to spot those, always go in from the swing lows. Right here. Pull back. First entry short. We will not get the second entry, and this is what I went over this morning. We'll not get the second entry until we go higher, one tick higher than the previous bar. So this is all still, if we keep going down from here, it's all still going to be the first entry. So now we have our, we can look for a second entry because this ticked higher right there. So I want to see a push up here. I want to stay above that exponential moving average, which would indicate bullishness. I want a little bit of a push up here, and then a nice convincing bearish bar that could attract shorts that then reverses into a bullish hammer, into a failed second entry long. I will take that. But we might just rock it up here. Okay, push down, push down. Gonna get my order ready just in case. I see your question, Aaron. I will answer it in just a moment. Okay, so we have our second entry short. This bar's got to tick lower too. We're not above the exponential moving average, so that kind of sucks. Okay, here we go. We pushed below. Now I'll turn in super bullish. Let's go. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. I think we have another, maybe like a little range forming or something here. So we have a pretty solid range there. Could get a failed breakout here, but this is just starting to get pretty bearish. And if we do get a bullish bar here, I'm not going to make the same mistake. I think I'll wait for a higher low. That's not even a bullish bar. Okay, let's see, Aaron. I'm trying to check out your question. So since you're looking for the new extreme, if that mini trend at 820 to 830 broke and didn't form a new extreme, could that be considered a warning? Ah, do you mean... Okay, so let me try to understand and maybe you can help clarify. So are you saying, what I hear you saying is, since the, I'll just ask, are you saying that because we didn't get a new extreme after here, that's a warning? Or are you saying, or like this mini trend right here? Oh, new extreme within the down channel. Yeah, okay, so we did. I mean, we did, right? Right where I took the trade, that was a new extreme of this down channel. So we moved down, had a break, new extreme. So we had that, but I think what I needed to observe was that, oh, the up channel. This up channel. Yeah, I mean, I think what the issue is that, I mean, that's what we were wanting to see, right? So we were wanting to see a new extreme of that mini little up channel that you're talking about. This was starting to move pretty low. It was mostly below the exponential moving average. This bar was the only one that had popped above, so it was a little bit aggressive. Hold on, what we got here? Might get a higher low here. And so I think the main thing is this needs some confirmation. It's a nice bullish bar. It goes along with our thesis, but the second entry long right here didn't work. The failed second entry short didn't work. Now we're like dangerously below the exponential moving average. So there was a lot of things that weren't working. So I should have waited for a higher low. That was the problem with that trade. It was aggressive. Now could have worked, and I think it's justifiable to take the trade. But it was a more aggressive entry. I should have waited for confirmation. And honestly, I mean, I don't want to make excuses, but like, I think live streaming it too. If I wasn't live streaming and I was just watching, I probably would have let that one go by. But I haven't taken a trade on live stream the past 2 sessions, so I think I was getting a little antsy to do that, and I was like, oh, this might be my chance. So that's not an excuse, but I mean, that is the reality. I was a little bit wanting to have a trade. So lesson learned. Learn from my mistakes, folks. Don't be aggressive. And that's why I always talk about waiting. And you saw, if you tuned into my other live streams, you saw that I just kind of waited through a lot of stuff. That's why I talk about it a lot, because that's the kind of crap that happens if you're too eager to make a trade, if you're not really thinking through things. That's what happens. And then, fortunately, I've gotten to a place where I don't care about that loss, and I'm not trying to make it back. I'm just gonna wait around, but I'm sure many of you have experienced taking a loss like that and then just trying to get back in right away and make it back, and then that turns into another loss, and then another loss, and it just gets ugly. So I made a bad trade. That's fine, but now I'm gonna wait. I could make this back today. I could make it back tomorrow or the next day, but I'm not gonna try to force it. So we had another failed second entry. It looks like this one's actually working. From the bottom here, we had a pullback. First entry short, pullback. Second entry short is now failing. That's working. That trade is working. But it happened below the exponential moving average. We still haven't proved that we are going to continue bullish here. So need something pretty convincing at this point, because we keep making lower lows. lower lows and lower highs, so starting to look a bit more bearish. So I will take a higher low, a nice bullish higher low, if it happens right here above the exponential moving average. But I got a sneaking suspicion that we might just, yeah, we're just gonna keep going. If this goes up too far, there's no trade again for me. I bet this is gonna get smacked down though. We're right at this breakout level. But that's got a lot of people going long. We don't have this short-term channel right here working up. So at this point, we've pushed too far to look for that higher low. Probably need a second entry long at this point. But yes, Jocko, just started streaming a couple days ago. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I've been really busy, and finally the stars aligned. So, yep, just started streaming. I'm excited about it. Still trying to figure out thank you. Still trying to figure out a consistent schedule. I'm thinking probably Monday through Thursday. Sorry, I'm trying to convert to Easter time. Monday through Thursday, 9 to 11, I think, is what I'm going to do. But we might throw Fridays in there too. I don't know. We'll see. I just don't want to make a schedule. If I make a schedule, I want to stick to it. And I'm still trying to figure out what's doable for me. So we had our first entry there, first entry long. Made an equal high. So technically we ought to reset the count. Yes, thank you, Scalp. Always gotta look out for those news drops. 5 minutes. Things are gonna get crazy. Home sales. So it's not a super crazy news event, but still something to watch out for. I think we have some Fed speak as well later on, like at 10:30. No entries here. That first entry just went up. We could get a nice second entry long though. And this would confirm a lot of things. Like if we can stay in this channel here, if we can stay in here and have like a shallow break of it, we would be then looking for a new extreme of this channel, new extreme of this small one, and a new extreme of this big one. So all things in price action to me right now are pointing bullish for the time being. But it looks like we might get an extreme of all of those without any entry. We'll see. Cool. Juan, trading a different style. What style do you trade? Fellow ES trader, but with a different strategy. What are you looking for? Classic supply and demand. Well, hey, let us know. I mean, it's good to have concurrent ideas. So, you know, if you're a profitable trader with a different style and you're seeing something, throw it in the chat. Let us know. Appreciate the news call out. And yeah, if you see like, hey, we're coming into a particular zone, shoot, man, call it out. There's all sorts of ways to make money in the market. When those ideas align, oftentimes they will. You'll get some great trades. Okay, so now we have a new extreme of kind of everything. We had a break of this small channel. New extreme is formed here. Had a break right here of this larger channel. New extreme is formed here. So technically, I mean, we're like one tick above, so nothing confirmed or anything, but technically that bullish move could be considered played out. Now, we also might have a big old channel here. This was what I was talking about earlier, looking for those first two swings, seeing if they're confirmed later. We have this swing down here, and definitely we got a swing right here. There's a couple touches, so it could be that we're in just a much bigger channel today. We'll see. I'm gonna leave it up on my chart and see if it's confirmed. Okay, 7 o'clock. Let's see. See if there's any fireworks. We have a pullback, and looks like there's our first entry. We might get a nice little second entry long here. So here's our pullback. First entry right here. Still waiting for our second pullback. We might get it here. This is starting to look like a nice bearish bar. There's our second pullback. So now we will be looking for a second entry long. Needs to pull back more. See, we're going to get our second entry right here probably. But that's too high up to take for me. Some traders are just going to take those every time. I don't want it to happen. I want us to keep pushing down. Give the second entry lower by one of our entry points, the exponential moving average or trend line. But there's our second entry. Yeah, I mean, macaroons, that's why I'm not trading it. That's why I wouldn't take it up this far. So yeah, you could, well, it's going to break out anyway, but yeah, if I was concerned about a double top, you could still look, like if you had a pullback, first entry, and it pulled back to here, you have plenty of room before this high, right? That's like, what is that? 1, 2, 3. You have 4 points before you get there, so you could get the scalp and then have a double top and no worries. But now that we're pushing up, I mean, we are definitely looking bullish today. So now I'm gonna look, see if there's any possible measured moves. Yeah, if it fully pulled back to the EMA, it'd have plenty of room, and that would be a high probability setup. Wondering if we have this move up here and a measured move starting from this swing. I bet you that's going to take us to our trend line. What do you know? So that's where I'm expecting us to get to now. I'm going to draw a line here as a potential target. This line right here is the high from Friday. And delete these arrows. So now we have the high from Friday that we're looking at right here, and then the potential measured move up to this line up here. This line right here. Okay. But we have no setup really. And if we just kind of roll over here, not going to be able to trust this possible wider channel. If we just kind of, in order for me to trust it, we will have to come up quite a ways, and hopefully even, I mean, that would be the healthiest channel, is if it came all the way up and touched this and then came down to the bottom. That's a good trade opportunity. Anyone else take any trades this morning? How we doing out there? I know Gordon, or someone, who was that took a stock trade? Yeah, Gordon took a stock trade. Juan, you taking any ES setups yet? I apologize if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. Doing the best I can over here. No trades yet. Good. You're better than I am. Yeah, lesson learned for me. Don't take a trade. Don't get antsy just because you're streaming. Because you know what? You know what no one is talking about on YouTube is the need for patience. I don't think you see that very much. Traders showing like how long you have to wait or how many setups you have to skip. And I'm only, live streaming a couple hours in the morning, so maybe my stream is all about that. It's all about teaching people how to just wait and sort through things, decipher the good from the bad. That's what trading is all about. Okay, we have another opportunity for a second entry long here. Trying to see if this channel, yeah, that fits pretty nicely there. So I don't think we have a break of our channel yet. But we're not even going to get a second entry. We're just going to keep going up. This is annoyingly bullish. We are approaching that high from Friday. And given that this larger channel is not confirmed, this could be the new extreme to all the other channels that we already drew, and we could just see a big reversal right here with prices going above the high from Friday to trigger some of those buy stops and then just drop into the nether regions. That's kind of what I'm expecting to happen right now. I don't think stops have been triggered there yet. Oh my gosh, what on earth? Because we barely peaked above, so it doesn't look like a bunch of stops were triggered. But I'm more expecting to see a nice long green candle here and then big reversal. Yep. This would be too late, I think, for a second entry. We've already had several pullbacks to the channel. Looks like we're kind of drifting off from these highs, like we're not quite reaching it. Have maybe a break and a new extreme, so this is definitely not long territory for me. And look at this, right off the high from Friday, looks like we're dropping. So you know what? I may look for a failed second entry long. To me, all of the bullish channels are played out. So this is a perfect place to get traders taking a late long here. And so what I'm potentially looking for, it will really have to set up nice, but a pullback like this, pretty steep pullback like we're getting, a first entry, another pullback, and then a second entry that fails. Also going to draw our short-term channel right here that prices are respecting. That wasn't a first entry, that was close. But this action is quite bullish. So this isn't, you know, if I were to take a failed second entry long here, it's not like bread and butter trade. It'd be a little bit more nuanced. Oh no, I'm not biased short, John. No, definitely not. Today's bullish for sure. I was just talking about a potential short-term short. No, definitely not biased short. But what I mean is that this is not a good place for a long yet, because this wider channel is still not confirmed. Again, we have, you know, this channel right here has a break and a new extreme. This medium channel right here has a break and a new extreme. So yeah, I mean, it's best not to take a short today, for sure. No, the measure, well, depends. That wider measure move that I was looking at was from like the absolute low down here, and that's not until that second line, so it's not until up there. That's the measure move I was looking at. I'm sure there's probably another one. Maybe we could look at this guy right here. That one's met almost. So yeah, that's another reason not to get long there. So we have our first entry long, there's the second entry. No, Jocko, if you're seeing something, please throw it out there. It's good to talk about these things. I'm not going to see everything. No one person can see everything, so the more voices we can have calling stuff out, that's good information for us to consider. So yeah, I appreciate you calling out that measured move. That looks valid to me. This is getting stacked. Look at this. Red, green, red, green, red. Warning, warning, don't trade. If this long fails with the lower high below EMA, yeah, that would be tempting. That would be tempting. And you're right, like at this point, you'd have to wait for a lower high for confirmation. Taking the failed second entry long right now would be a bad idea. But honestly, as John reminded us, the overall, it's always helpful to zoom out. The overall bias for today is still bullish. So I threw out the idea of maybe a short, but really you want to look for a long. We ought to be solely looking for long setups. So maybe could take a, I don't know. No, there's no maybe here. This is just congested is what this is. This is just a mess. Don't trade this. Super sideways. Karate Town, I like it. Chop City. Chop Suey. Yeah, this is just a meat grinder, man. Yeah, this is one of those things. It's even hard to form a bias here, to form a thesis. The market really could go either way. This is one of those, I think, key times where, yeah, because again, we are like right at this resistance. All those bullish channels that we already talked about are played out. This one might get a quick new extreme. Hey there, Marav. I do actually use the 1OP indicator. It's a different style of trading for me. So that I use that for larger moves. Larger swings. This I'm scalping, so I'm using price action solely. But yeah, I do use 1OP for larger swing, intraday swings rather, I should say. Larger moves. And that helps also just kind of form my bias as well, my overall bias. I haven't turned it on today, so I haven't even looked at it today, but yeah, in general. So looks like we are getting a breakout. This is not a breakout that you'd want to fade because of all the bullishness we're having. Nice, appreciate you sharing. Oh yeah, that's a good call. I'm gonna take a look at the 10,000 tick chart, which is more like the 5-minute, and you can see clear bullish move here. And we have our first entry on the 10,000 tick chart. So you could get a really nice setup here with first entry, pullback, and a second entry. When you have a high probability setup that forms on the 10,000 tick chart and then is mirrored in the 2,000 tick chart, I mean, in general, like if you have a higher time frame setup that's then mirrored on a low time frame, you could take that sucker to the bank. For 1850, Juan, are you gonna take it? We're getting there. It hit your price. Ooh, man, this is starting to look pretty nice on the 10,000 tick. Especially if that bar finishes bullish. But I still think at this point now, I think we're gonna test the trend line here. I think we're gonna get to this level. And since we never got up here, I would even venture to say that we might just break through this and just start forming some sort of bearishness. Since this larger channel did not get confirmed to the upside, we have a lot of space there. I would not be inclined to take a long off this level. That often you'll see that took it. Nice. Good luck to you. Let's throw out some love for Juan, guys. Let's cheer him on. We want everyone to succeed. Get the bank. I like that, macaroons. Get the bank. Yeah, I think slope trend lines, to respond to that, Madhav. Here's an instance where they could trap people. What I believe is that they're very reliable when used properly. But in this context, and this is why I think it will fail, is because lots of people are drawing this line. Lots of retail traders. Oops. Lots of retail traders are drawing this line right now. So what you will see is on the third touch, since it hasn't been confirmed, you'll see just a massive move down that stops a bunch of people out because they're trusting this. I've already explained there's a lot of reasons not to trust this trend line right now. I have it on my chart because I'm watching it, because other people are watching it. I am not currently trading off it. I would if we had a move down here that bounced and then gave a nice failed second entry short, first entry, second entry failure. I'd trade that. But right now I have it on my chart just as a reference because I know people are looking at it. Pete, do I do recaps of my daily trades? That is in the plans. Right now I'm just trying to get into the streaming schedule, trying to get into the rhythm. Once that becomes more consistent and I'm able to, yeah, like I have a consistent schedule and all that, then I'll look to do some trade recaps. Hopefully releasing some more content as well. All in the works, man. Really trying to grow this thing. Want to be able to get a lot of folks on board, man, and trade together. It's always more fun to trade together, and I think there's a definite I don't think anyone else is doing this. Trading this style of price action live. So I think we got something good here. Ooh, Juan, it's going in your favor. Come on, man. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you, macaroons. And yeah, if you guys do enjoy what I'm doing, please make sure you subscribe, like the videos. That helps out. Helps get more eyes on this. The bell. I forget. Smash all the stuff. Smash the buttons. Tell your friends. I know you guys have friends who want to trade or who are traders. I know you do. Okay, so I'm looking for a failed second entry short here. We're back above the exponential moving average. We do have of this, short-term channel, we do have a break, a new extreme. We're pushing again above that. Continuing bullishness right now. We have a first entry short looking for another move up. Second entry short that then fails. We'll take that sucker long. Let's see what the 10,000 tick is doing. So we already had our second entry on the 10,000 tick. Which is also what Juan was mentioning in reference to the 5 minute, which is going to be really close to that, I'm sure. The bars are always going to be a little bit different. The bars are always going to be a little bit different. If they're like drastically different, then that's a problem. I'll see now we're moving down to the trend line. I'm expecting this trend line to fail here, and just I'm thinking there's going to be a nice long red candle in here. Yeah, Jocko, it does totally look like a visual, two visual moves. You had one move here, another move here, totally. Those are, I would bet you anything, those are measured legs. Oops, that's not what I want. See if these are measured legs. Ah, stop it. Stop it. Okay, here we go. Boom, one leg. Two legs. Yep, two measured legs, 2 attempts up. Now we're failing. This is playing out like I supposed. All those folks trusting that trend line are going to be in for no fun. $5:04 to 6:47. Is that my time? What Pacific time here? 504 to 647. Your time, the big swings. Oh, 504. Aha. From here to here. Yeah. Yep, also didn't get that. Yeah. I mean, I think it's fair. What I would encourage you, Madhav, is trust the smaller ones, because price action, look, check it, like we've been talking about this morning. You had this smaller one over here, right? You don't trust it to always respect that, but if it gets a break, if it's a confirmed move and it gets a break, expect that it's going to make an attempt at a new extreme, which it did right here. Same with this larger one. It breaks, expect that it's going to attempt a new extreme or make a new extreme, which it did here. And then even this smaller one, we had a break, and then what happened? 2 attempts. 2 attempts at a new extreme. And since they didn't work, now we're going the other way. So it's not that you just you don't just trust the trend lines. You use them to help interpret price action. What is price doing relative to those lines? Nice, took that failed second entry long. That's a solid trade. If you're bearish, if you're seeing all these things, I like that. Kind of like the visual one you're talking about, right? Like this first entry, visual first entry, visual second entry. Boom. Right off that bearish bar. It's like right at the EMA, which kind of nice, guys. Good work. Good work. Yeah, I mean, if you're reading the context right, that's solid, and I think that's a solid trade. I personally, I don't like that this bar right here is right at the exponential moving average. It never ticked higher. And you kind of get some congested like range stuff in here, so it's also possible that bounces right at this level and just keeps going up. So personally, I wouldn't take that, but I totally see that, and I think that's solid, justifiable rather. Yeah, the trend lines fail due to time. I like that. Yeah. It's not necessarily time either, but like momentum. Like this one right here. You had the big one. I'm talking about the huge one that I drew. You had a definite like strong move up all throughout this section, right? Like this is a nice strong move, and then a pullback, and then you had another strong move coming up, and then it just kind of ran out of steam. It didn't continue up. So yeah, not only time but also momentum. But anyway, I'm gonna take this big one off because no, I don't. Oh, sorry, John. I was misinterpreting question. I get it. Just give me a sec. I'm gonna delete this big one. I don't think it's valid. I had it there again for reference, but now we can clearly see what's going on price action wise. You had extremes of the channels that I mentioned, testing this high of day from Friday, And the flush. And the flush. Yes, Fed speak right now. Yeah, I'm glad you got out at break even. I wouldn't be looking for another long though. Personally, I think we're going to start to see some bearishness. But yeah, anyway, prices came right up to here. I'm sure they got filled. Why does that always do that? I don't get that. I'm sure they got filled on some of those stops and then just running it the other way. Okay, so now I'm looking for some channels downwards. I have this obvious steep one. And that's the most obvious one, I think, right now. Might also have a larger one forming. I'll show it in a second. Boy, this is, yeah, no. That's way too, that's not gonna work. I think what we have drawn is solid. But I would expect, since this is pretty steep, I would expect maybe something to form more like this. We'll leave that up for now. See how that does. This is absolutely not confirmed in any way. I'm not going to leave that up. That's going to screw with me visually. But I think we might have something like that that forms. Super far from EMA. Yeah, there's definitely no trades here. Definitely no trades. Oops. A large flat range. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be... It's going to be a massive range because you'd have to go down to the bottom in the next, hour or so. That might be the case. Okay, so now on that move down, we do have a break, a new extreme. Wanting to see if we get some sort of correction here, some sort of bullish correction. Something. Come on. Bullish correction. So if we get like a bullish correction that then plays out, I will be looking for a short, a second entry short. Yep, that's where I'm at, macaroons. That's where I'm at for sure. I don't know that we're gonna get an entry. Okay, so here's something I'm noticing. All these lows right here are in a nice geometric pattern. So sometimes you can find a channel by using the opposite side. So using this side and seeing where it ends up. Maybe right here. This is not confirmed yet, but it's something I am keeping an eye on. Might also, let's see if this works. Oops. Just playing around with it. It's not fitting great. Here's the first entry short. It looks like it's just gonna keep dropping. Not giving us a chance to join in on the fun. I don't like this one. This is, oh man, like we're jumping even further. This might be like a spike in a channel. So we had this really fast move down, and then we might have a more shallow channel like this. Yeah, I went lower without us. Ooh, I kind of like this. That fits pretty nicely. Could have a short here. Could have a short here. Again, we got to respect these short-term trends. Because we also, you know, this channel here, that's unconfirmed, right? So we could already have our break and new extreme of the move down, and then look to go up from here. So got to be cautious of that. "30-second chart." It's probably pretty close. It's similar to the 1 minute, but yeah, it probably is more like a 30-second chart a lot of the time. I mean, it depends, because, you know, a tick chart obviously is formed on orders. So, you know, if there's a lot of volume in the market, then it will be more like the 30-second chart. Sometimes Yeah, it just really depends on how fast the market's moving. If it's slow, it could even be closer to the 5 minute chart sometimes. When the 2000 tick chart starts to mimic the 5 minute chart, you know that it's probably time to just wrap it up and call it a day. So we have our first entry to the short side. I don't know that I'll trade a second entry short here. Things are not super clear for me. Oof. It's not touching the exponential moving average, but I'm sure some people will take that second entry short right there. I'm still trying to play around and see if there's a larger channel at work here. Kind of like that one. I'm going to put the midline on it though. Yeah, like that's fitting nicely. I like that. We're going to keep that. So there is our second entry short. I'll take a lower high, especially if it gets close to that EMA. I'm going to get this thing ready. Did it tick higher there? Nope. Yeah, shorting into 4,000, that's a good point. It's a good point. But if it forms right, I'm going to take it. This would also be a second entry long, or failed second entry long. Oh yeah, John, sorry you asked that question earlier. I'll answer that in a second. Yeah, I don't like this anymore. We are right at the EMA. This could be a good failed second entry long / second entry short. I'll take this if we get a bearish bar. I don't want to lose 2 trades in a row, especially, man, that would be a bummer. Oof, yes. Yes, this is looking good. Just don't want it to go too far lower. Come on, bearish, baby. Let's see the bearishness. Nothing. Still one more chance. Tick higher, and then turn bearish, and we got ourselves a trade. Tick higher. Come on now, buddy. Still didn't tick higher. Come on now. Come on, baby. There we go. But now, okay, yeah, here we go. Let's go. Let's do this thing. Man, it's moving fast. Yeah, I'm taking it. It moved down pretty far. I might have been too low. I should have put a limit order back. I don't think that was a good trade. I think I jumped into that. I'm gonna scratch. Oof. Oof. Get out of the way. Yeah, you know what? I like this. I'm going to keep it. Now I don't have my runner set up though. I like merged those orders. I don't know how to fix that. I don't know, man. This is really congested here. We're starting to form like a mini range. Look at that. Like if you don't have an order in right there, that's pretty congested. We're gonna get stopped out. Yeah, we're definitely gonna get stopped out on this one. Come on, give us our 1 tick scratch here. Be kind. I see that momentum and I'm like, man, it just feels like it could drop. I'm going to be more upset with myself if I get a loss than if I miss a win. So I'm going to keep it there. We'll scratch it out if it gets there. Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to take the 1 tick win. I'll just actually scratch out. We're definite. Look at like right where my stop and my profit target are. That's like the definition of the range. I don't even have to draw that range. There it is. You can see it. I wish I would have scratched earlier. Now we're just going to get stopped out. Yep, there we go. Bummer, dude. That sucks. That sucks. Throw some love for me out there, guys. Make me feel better. Yeah, so it's not a bad trade, honestly. It's not a bad trade. Yeah, I am spicy veggie. Actually, that is a rule I have. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks. That is a rule I have after 2 trades, after 2 losses in a row. I call it. So I'm going to hold tight to that rule. Because I've found that go wash my hands. My decision making does start to go down after I can even feel a little bit like my heart rate's a little bit elevated. So those are all, and I can feel it too. Like I want to get a trade. So that's all bad stuff. Something to be watching in your, oh, now look at it. Of course. But that's something to definitely like watch in your own trading. Like always take note of where your emotions are at. Yeah, the quadruple trap. If you're starting to get any sort of you should just be chill. Like if you're not chill when you're trading, then take a break or do something else. And so yeah, I'm not chill right now, so I'm not going to trade. And that's why I've made that rule for myself. After 2 losses, just call it. So I'm going to first I'm going to answer John's question because I know you asked it twice. Is there ever an instance where I'd take a first entry if it sets up nice? Yes. In a extremely strong trend day. So if it's just nonstop bullish or nonstop bearish, and it's very obvious, today is not one of those days, obviously. But on those beautiful days, which we don't get very often, If it pulls back to any sort of trend line or EMA, then yeah, I'd take a first entry. Just pretty much any bullish bar on a long trend day, or any bearish bar, you just take it and just ride it. That's the only instance. Yeah, so look, man, this ticked me out. Look at this. By one tick. Oops. By one tick. Had my stop right here. It just one tick higher and then adios. That's a bummer. But what I've learned, I'm not going to worry about it. I am going to put it in the rear view. Tomorrow's a new day. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow and start with fresh slate. And I know, I've been doing this long enough to where I know that if I just keep trading, that loss is going to be erased. So, really important to track your stats. Make sure you know what you can rely on, and that gives a lot of confidence moving forward. I know that if I just keep trading, keep doing what I'm doing, taking the trades that are good setups, then that loss is going to be erased. Probably tomorrow, but at least the next few days. And if not, over the course of the month, I know it will be. So anyway, I hope you guys learned something. Otherwise, it's great to have you join me in the morning. It's been fun. I will see you all tomorrow morning. We'll do 9 a.m. Eastern time. And trade safe out there, guys. Have a good one.